Hey everyone, welcome back to Test Reviews. This is Test Review 3-2, the second test of the third quarter. Some of the topics on this test are ratios and proportions, inequalities, solving inequalities, translating inequalities, and graphing them. So let's get started. Solve for x. The first one is set up as a comparison of two fractions, two equal fractions or two equal ratios. That is a proportion, so we're going to solve this with cross multiplication. I would multiply first with the x so that the x ends up on the left. It's not going to be wrong if it's the other way, but it's a little easier on our brains. So 8 times x gets you 8x. Then I put the equal sign, and 5 times 20 was this way. 5 times 20. And then we can do 5 times 20 out, and that equals 100. And now we're solving for x, so we have to put the line through the equal sign and get rid of that 8 by dividing by 8 to both sides, and we get x equals 12.5. This question does not ask you to round, so you're going to give it to them in the full answer that we had. All right, number 2. What is the unit price of a 6-pack of Gatorade that sells for $4.59? So they're telling you that there are 6 of these Gatorades in the pack, and we're buying it for $4.59. We want to know the unit price. That is the price of 1. So we want to take the cost, or the price, and divide it by the quantity, or the number that we got for that amount of money. So I'm going to take $4.59, and divide that by 6. And in the calculator, that's going to get us 765. And we were talking about the cost of something, so we know that this has to look like money, so we know that we have to round this. In order to round this, we're going to go 2 decimal places and draw the line. We're going to look at this 5, and it's going to tell us what to do with this 6. Remember the rounding rules. 5 or more, up the score, which means this 6 will go up into a 7. If it was 4 or less, we would let it rest, and it would be 76 cents. However, this one is going to round up to 77 cents, or you can write it as 0 with the dollar sign in front, 0.77. And that is per Gatorade. Oops, I can't spell Gatorade. Gatorade. Each Gatorade would cost you 77 cents. Okay. Fill in the blank. A ratio is a, well, this is what we were talking about. This is the very first thing that we talked about on this video already. A comparison. Remember, they're written as fractions. It's a comparison of 2 numbers. There are 3 ways that we can write these. Ratios can be written in 3 forms. Remember, the first one is like an example 2 to 3. Actually, I won't use the same numbers. Let's say 3/4. 3 over 4. We could use or 2, the word 2, 3, 2, 4. And the other option is with the dot, 3, 4. And that's all referring to ratios, a comparison of 2 numbers. There are 48 marbles in a jar. If 16 of them are blue and the rest of them are green, what is the ratio of green to blue marbles in simplest form? So they're asking me for a ratio. I'm going to go to exactly where they're asking me about that ratio. When I hear what is the ratio of, I freeze, I make a plan. Green to blue. So I'm going to write that out. Remember, when they're asking us in simplest form, the easiest method for these is going to be using fraction. That's our preferred method for these because we can put that right in our calculator. And our plan is going to be green marbles, green over blue. And did they tell me either of those? Well, they gave me 16 blue marbles, so where would that go? That is going to go on the bottom, because it says blue on the bottom, so I'm putting this 16 blue marbles on the bottom. The top is saying green, but we don't know how many marbles are green. We just know that the rest of the jar were green. So we're going to go 48 marbles in total. If I subtract the 16 blue marbles, I get the number of green marbles that I have, which is 32. 32 goes up here for green marbles. 32 over 16. We need to simplify this, so be careful, because when you go into your calculator with this one, it's going to give you one number. When you put this in, it just comes out as a 2. And the problem with that is we just said that a ratio is a comparison of two numbers, so we have to have another number involved in this. So underneath it, we would put it over 1 to represent that there are 2 green marbles for every 1 blue marble. I'm getting the wording from my original plan. Okay, so my simplest form is 2 over 1, or 2, 2, 1, or 2, dot, dot, 1, whichever you prefer. But it needs to be in that order because they asked me green to blue, not blue to green. For 5, Mr. Softy sells soft serve dipped bonnets, 2 for $6.85. So this is Mr. Softy, 2 for $6.85. Carvel has a deal that they sell the same 3 cones for $10.20 for 3. Who has a better deal, and how do we know that, or why? Explain. So in order to figure that out, we're going to have to compare these two by finding how much each one of those bonnets actually costs us. So let's calculate Mr. Softy. We're going to find the unit price on this, and remember what we did before, that's the cost over the number of items you're getting for that. So we're going to put 6.85 divided by 2, put that right in your calculator, and you'll get 3.425. Remember, we're talking about money here. This doesn't look like money, we got to round it. So we're going to go 2 decimal places after, 2 spaces after the decimal. Look at this 5. This 5 tells you to do what to your 2? Ring it up, make it a 3. So this one, Mr. Softy is technically selling these for $3.43 per cone. Or bonnet, whatever you want to say there. And the other side is Carvel. Carvel is selling 3 cones for $10.20. We're going to take the 10.20 just like we did over there and divide that by 3. 10.20 divided by 3 in your calculator becomes 3.4. You need to know how to make that look like money. This one we're going to wind up having to give it a 0 at the end because money always goes out 2 places, and dollar sign in front. We've got $3.40 per cone. Which one's a better buy? Would you rather pay $3.43 per cone for the exact same cone, or would you rather pay $3.40 per cone? I don't know about you, but I'd always like to save money. That is what makes this the better buy. The better deal is Carvel. And why? Well, Carvel, the price is cheaper. And then you have to look up there. Is it actually cheaper? No, it was $10.20, but it is cheaper per cone. So you're getting a better deal on each cone. That part's really important. That's the part we keep missing. So don't forget, it's not actually cheaper. The price is cheaper per cone, or you could say it has a lower unit price or a cheaper unit price, if you'd rather say unit. Right? Okay. Place the choices below in their appropriate columns. So is it a ratio or is it not a ratio is what this is basically asking. 1.5, is it a ratio or not? A ratio over here was a comparison of 2 numbers. This is 1 number, this is a decimal. That is not a ratio. 1.5 goes over here. 9 over 5. Oh, that's a ratio. That's a 9 to 5. Okay, 7.8. Oh, that's one of the ways we can write our ratio. 7.8 means 7 to 8. 5, that's just one number, so nope, that is not a ratio. 2 and 2/5. This is 3 numbers, so that is not a ratio. It's three numbers, but in reality, that is one mixed number. We don't like those for ratios. And the other one, 1 to 2. That is the third way that we can write our ratios using the actual word TO. That is a ratio. Okay. Watch video 2 for the back.